50 States of Terror may include content unsuitable for young audiences. Listener discretion is advised. Content warnings will be included in the show notes. This is Nebraska, the Phantom Kangaroo. Hello, world, and welcome to another episode of 50 States of Terror. Like always, I am your host, Anthony Diaz, and welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. For you old folks, that was Welcome Back, Carter. And if you knew that reference, it's time to take your pain medications. So, hey, yeah, my name is Anthony Diaz. Thank you again for coming to this show called 50 States of Terror, where we take a cryptid from each state and we on the show just do a deep dive, short little, research project on it. And this one was fantastic. And I'll tell you why. Because like the other ones, when you do a research, you research a state and you search cryptids said state. So you're like, I don't know, let's just go with Nebraska, like what we're doing right now. And you go Nebraska cryptids, and it gives you a relatively small list of creatures that may or may not have been cited or listed on cryptid lists and blah 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 blah. Well, this one, the one I found, was by accident, actually. Excuse me. You see, I was scrolling through TikTok, doom scrolling late at night. I couldn't sleep. I had anxiety or some shit. I don't know. And around 1:00 in the morning, I started getting all of these paranormal and all of these cryptid, ghosts, just small little clips from TikTok. And it just so happened that I crossed over Nebraska, and this dude was doing this like 15-second, 30-second thing on this animal that Nebraska had, that it was listed as a cryptid in Nebraska. So I was like, you know what? Let me do a quick little Google search and let me check this out, because this is fucking interesting. Because it's not like the other ones that we've done. It's not some scary monster. It's not some three-headed beast or something like that, which I do love. Because at the beginning of me choosing Nebraska, I wanted to do the I'm gonna butcher this fucking name. The Akali, the Akali Lake Monster, otherwise known as the Walgreen Lake Monster. And I was set on doing this thing because it was well known. There was information. There was a lot of sightings, and I was at first going to just pick this and run with it and what have you. And then I found this TikTok video, and I wish I memorized the guy who did the show on TikTok, who did the presentation. Because I want to give him credit, but if I do find that, I'll post it on the show notes, 100%. But the thing about it is, this one, like maybe 2 or 3 that we've done before on the show, this one has a deep plausibility of being a real a creature it's not far-fetched is what I'm trying to get at. It's not this thing, this imaginary thing that someone just be like the Snallygaster, because we all know the Snallygaster is this insanely looking, I'm sorry, I'm not going to use the word insanely, this fabergasted looking thing with tentacles on his face and wings and shit like that. No, this is plausible of what this thing could have been, or maybe some lighting was all jacked up when the first sighting happened. So we're just gonna right into it. We're going to go right into this. And I'm excited. And so you will hear me start doing like mouse clicks because I have tabs open and I have my notes here and things like that. But I wanted to say first off that the reason why I chose this because it's also adorable. The creature I'm about to say is adorable. So yes, this is Nebraska, the phantom kangaroo. So, first sightings of this thing was actually in a different state. It was in 1899 in Richmond, Wisconsin. Okay, and a woman had seen this kangaroo leaping across her backyard. That was the very first one in 1899. The most recent one was sighted in Oklahoma in 2013, where it was reported by a couple of hunters who recorded this thing in the field. It was up on YouTube. It was shaky and it was blurry. But okay, well, let's just get from beginning to the end. Okay, and since this last sighting in 2013, there have been maybe a couple more, but like it was just say, oh yeah, I know what that thing is, and then it was just posted on a Reddit group or cryptid, list of sightings for said creature. But the one that I want to talk about, because it's from Nebraska, was sighted in 1958 by Charles Wetzel, who saw this kangaroo chasing dogs near his cabin home near Plate River near Grand Island, Nebraska. Okay, so in your mind's eye, okay, when I say the phantom kangaroo, what do you immediately think of? Because for me, what I think of is this grotesque, maybe gray in color kangaroo creature. Maybe with gnarly, fangs, teeth, maybe spikes coming across his back, along the spine. I don't know, maybe a hunched ooze perhaps coming out of his body, maybe, question mark, I don't know. But however, I was not expecting the actual sightings to look like what they look like. Okay, so what you hear me start clicking now because I have all of this all of this information like kind of on my Google, my tabs, and it is unbelievable because I am a professional, because that's what I do. So anyway, so the way it looks like is this. It does look like a kangaroo. Its fur is reddish in color. It may or may not have elongated ears that kind of like go backwards and is in a stationary position. So it almost looks like some type of like armor, or perhaps maybe its skull, and that was just fixated and fixed on that position. It does have regular features of a normal kangaroo, and also it is the same height and weight, maybe perhaps of a normal kangaroo, because I do know they get fairly large. But the sightings that are from the late 1800s and then the one in 2013 have said almost the same exact thing, where it's like perhaps 4 or 5 feet tall, roughly, I don't know, 150 pounds based on its girth, and then that's what they saw. And this is the reason why I am truly in love with this cryptid, because when the people who came forward about seeing this thing, telling the descriptions, it resembled 2 different animals that have now been extinct. One is called the Procoptodon. No, I fucked that up. The Procoptodon. And the other one, I'm going to screw this one up so bad too. the Echiltodata. Now, both have actually roamed the earth. They're both prehistoric kangaroo creatures. The Procoptodon lived in the... Why do these names are so damn hard to pronounce? I'm not a scientist. I can't do this. Let's just... Okay, I'll give it a shot. It lived in the Pleistocene era, which is known as the Ice Age. So, like, if you think about the Ice Age, the movies, the Ice Age with, the woolly mammoth, the saber-toothed tiger, and that fucked up squirrel that's trying to chase that acorn or whatever. It lived in this time frame, and is an extinct genus of a giant short-faced kangaroo. It was over 6 feet tall, weighed over 200 pounds. This thing was gnarly. The other one lived in the late, Iliocene to Miocene period. And I hope I don't mess that up. Anybody who's in the scientific community, please email the show and tell me I'm wrong and give you proper pronunciation. And by the way, if you want to real quick, if you do want to support the show via a couple bucks here and there, you can support the show. Patreon.com/50 States of Terror. And every penny that you spend goes to the show. It goes to the equipment, goes to the software. It gets me a cup of coffee every once in a while. It is poured into the what I consider the business of the show. Of course, we don't make enough to pay a salary or anything, unless you want to, give enough to, support, financially for, I don't know, to me to quit my job and do this full time. One can only dream, right? One can only dream. But let's go back to these prehistoric creatures. So both of them were prehistoric creatures, kangaroo. Now, the Alcaltideta, man, I wish I could just say, okay, let me do one more shot. The Alcaltideta, we'll leave it at that. That was an extinct genus of marsupials related to the modern musky rat kangaroo. Okay, so we have those two prehistoric animals that resemble what these people were witnessing in all these firsthand accounts. So let's just set the scene. So you are driving home. It's late at night. You're in Nebraska. I've been in Nebraska twice. Love the state. It's gorgeous. And one in particular was this. It looked like it was straight out of, a TV show that's set in the 50s. You have these 2-story houses, and you have the old school, these beautiful vintage stores that are what is considered downtown. And it was just fantastic. It was just so much fun. But anyway, imagine yourself going home. Maybe you went to a bar and had a couple of drinks with some buddies, driving home late at night, and your headlights are on. And there are large, tall grass on either side of the road, and then whipping right in front of you to stop right in the middle of the road is this kangaroo. So at first instinct, would you consider that out of the ordinary? Well, I mean, yeah, I would think so. You're driving around, you don't normally see a kangaroo fucking, just hopping out on the road. But the first instinct was like, maybe this is an escaped animal from the zoo. So you get out your truck, get out your car, and you try to, do the thing where you try to approach this thing that could be a horrific, I don't know, body snatcher, like, because you don't know. And you walk up to it, and it just scurries off. It just hops off. The regular person would be like, well, it could be an animal that escaped from a zoo. It could be some type of wallaby. It could be it's escaped joey, because joeys are what's known as the babies of kangaroo. So yeah, your first instinct is like, okay, this may be from a zoo, or possibly it could be from a personal, wildlife refuge, or some type of a wild game I don't know, habitat that was around the area. You know, but the way that it was described doesn't quite fit it being a normal looking kangaroo. So enter my boy Lauren Coleman. Lauren Coleman and Mark A. Hall theorize that some sightings of this phantom kangaroo may actually be sightings of devil monkeys. Okay? Devil monkeys. I want to do a standalone show on devil monkeys. Because after doing the sidebar clicks and going down the rabbit hole, devil monkeys is an incredible creature. And it's primarily, well, not primarily. Let me correct myself. The first sighting was actually in Tennessee. So, this may be a Tennessee creature. I don't know, but it's number one right now. It is flying up the charts. Number one, devil monkeys. And do yourself a favor too. When you're 5 minutes, and you have nothing to do, just Google Tennessee devil monkeys, and it's a great read. It's phenomenal. Anywho, now, we do know that, kangaroos are right now native to Australia. And kangaroos and wallabies outside of Australia is not severely unheard of. Because the Isle of Man have been home to hundreds of wild wallabies and kangaroos since the 1970s, when a pair of them escaped and mated, and then through Lover's Lane, and then through going out on dates and movies and loving each other very much, they procreated. And the other exemption that I was looking for is, well, okay, so let's just say that there's maybe an exotic, wildlife refuge there in Nebraska, in that area. Well, I couldn't find one. And I did further research on whether or not it is legal or illegal to even possess something like a kangaroo or wallaby in Nebraska. So some laws prohibit the possession of exotic animals, unless you do have an exemption, unless you do have like a zoo permit, or you're a park, a wildlife refuge, things like that. But the thing about owning a kangaroo in Nebraska, it's like, where would you even go to get one? But it does bring up the question, well, perhaps it's a creature, animal that was privately owned, escaped, but that doesn't take away the fact that everybody has seen the same type of one, right? So enter a great scientific theory that I absolutely love about why we are seeing more and more extinct animals today. So this thing is called iterative evolution. Now, this is a natural process of de-extinction based on, evolution. So this occurs when a species becomes extinct, but then rather some time passes and a different species evolves in an almost identical creature. This has been proven to happen in birds, and it's proven to have happened on different type of animals. So what does this mean? Could this be a evolutionary trait of an escaped kangaroo that through a short period of evolution wandered on the road and looks like one of two of the extinct creatures that I named before, that I will not try to pronounce again? Is it? I don't know. And this is what makes this just wonderful to talk about, because it's not like we're diving into, like, I don't know, a large 100-foot water creature in the lake, or not, I don't know, a absurdly large flying creature that could come from caves. this is something that's fairly plausible, especially when you're talking about like the amount of sightings that has occurred since 1899 all the way to 2013 in Wisconsin. In London, check that out. In London in 2000, there were 4 sightings of a 6-foot kangaroo eating leaves in Lewisham, London. And then let's talk about Iowa. A woman in 1999 named Lois Eckert saw a big animal jump past cows on her farm. Is it plausible? Well, okay, first let's say it could be just an escaped kangaroo. In the way they describe it, it could be, sick, or it could be, I don't know, have some type of genetic defect. I don't know. However, the fact that it's possible that the thing that they saw, the large creature with a prehistoric face that's carnivorous, is it possible that it could be an iterative evolution, which is a de-extinction process, naturally, by the way? Could that be it? And I'm thinking so. But that's just me. I would like to fantasize that, like, you know what? Yeah. Maybe there is some kangaroo-like creature that is just roaming the tall grass in Nebraska right now. It would excite me to believe that, you know what? Maybe, just maybe, that there is this large beast-like creature from old prehistoric days just chilling and watching us. I love it. But you know what? Tell me what you think. Get in the comments. Get in the comments, y'all. Yeah, Nebraska, the phantom kangaroo. Love it. Absolutely love it. Thank you again for listening to 50 States of Terror. I am your host, Anthony Diaz. Stay tuned for a self-indulging promo of all of my socials where you can find me at. I am going to release a preview of my new show. I haven't named it yet, but personally, I wanted to promote my writing, and I am going to do a new show where all I do is just sit and talk about writing and read some of my stories. I hope that people like it, but you know what? It's something that I wanted to do, and it's for me, and yeah. So again, thank you for listening. I really do hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. I am actually off work right now. I took off today and Monday because Sunday is my birthday, and I am going to just relax and play video games all day and drink, great hoppy IPA beer and eat lots of cake. And yeah, thank you guys. Later. This has been an episode of 50 States of Terror, brought to you by your host, Anthony Diaz. You can find the show on Facebook and Instagram at 50 States of Terror. On Twitter, you can find the show at 50 States Terror, without the of, because of the character limitations. You can also find the show on TikTok, 50 SOT Podcast. Email at the50sot@gmail.com. That's the 50SOT@gmail.com. And of course, if you want to support the show, please, you may at patreon.com/50 States of Terror. Thank you, and happy hunting. Later.